Hi, everybody!
This is going to be a fast video, and it's one that I wouldn't normally make, but I thought this was noteworthy, and since it's related to a game I've been following and making content around, I figured it was worth talking about. Pre-orders for Digimon Story Time Stranger have gone live with Canadian retailer Video Game Plus. Which, by the way, if they're watching, how about we work out a sponsorship? We're both Canadian, and I could really drive the business for you. Anyways, that's beside the point. Video Game Plus is important here for one specific reason. Usually when they begin taking pre-orders, that's a sign we're not far away from hearing about an official release date for a given product. It has happened a few times over the years. I can't remember the exact dates and games where it happened, but it's still rather noteworthy. I've said in previous videos that I think Time Stranger will have an announced release date sometime around Summer Game Fest, which is just around the corner. It's happening in just a little over 2 weeks from today at the time of recording. Why do I think we're going to hear about a Time Stranger release date during Summer Game Fest? While Digimon is never one of Bandai Namco's premier franchises, the company has shown other games off at SGF in the past. Since it's effectively an E3 replacement at this point, I've got a Summer Game Fest predictions video in the works, so if you want to see that video when it goes live, hit the subscribe button. But Summer Game Fest, from a logical standpoint, is probably one of the best times for Bandai to drop a brand new trailer with a release date, because there aren't a lot of other big gaming events upcoming until the back half of the year, which is when Time Stranger is more than likely releasing. Given when it got announced, it was stated to have a 2025 release date. If it was coming, say, next year, then yeah, I might have said we'd get a release date during Tokyo Game Show, given Digimon is just bigger in Japan than it is in the West, and TGS, more often than not, caters to Japanese gamers ahead of Westerners. So for those reasons alone, I feel like Bandai is going to showcase it during Summer Game Fest along with some other things. I also imagine the release date is going to be late September to early November. If Bandai are smart, they'll release it in September, so they avoid Broketober. Okay, enough speculation on my end regarding the release date. There's something else of note on Video Game Plus's website, and it's the price. As of right now, it's listed on VGP for 99 Canadian. That's an insane price point, let's be real. Now I know Grand Theft Auto 6 will be that price point at minimum because of things Rockstar have said themselves, even if I think GTA 6 will be bad, overhyped, and not worth the money. If I squint hard enough, I can see how it could be justified, considering it's going to be one of the most expensive games ever produced. But at this point, gaming as a hobby is starting to become absurdly expensive. At this point, the average consumer is just going to not buy as many games, which will inevitably lead to a gaming industry crash. We saw the bubble forming in 2020, mostly because people were stuck at home, meaning they were looking for any way to be entertained. So media like books, movies, and games all saw bubbles form, because people weren't going out and spending their money on things like holidays or other expensive ventures. I've said it before, we are heading for an industry-wide crash. This is because of many factors like gamers losing confidence in developers, who are more often than not releasing games that are more or less unfinished, buggy messes, or we're getting catastrophic failures releasing like Concord. Couple that with ballooning development costs and the price of games going up, yeah, that bubble will burst sooner rather than later. I don't think it'll be as bad as the 80s crash though, but we're indeed headed for one. For a lot of consumers, even the previous price point of 89 Canadian was a stretch, so this makes me wonder, is Time Stranger really worth it as a full price release? I'm starting to think probably not. Even though the Cyber Sleuth titles are decent experiences, they certainly weren't worth full price. Time Stranger is also in the same vein as those games, since it's part of the Story sub-series. However, if I was to hazard a guess, I'd say this price point is a placeholder like the current release date is. I feel like Time Stranger is a title where it'd thrive in the $60 to $79 price point. I think it'll likely launch around that price point. Before we continue with this video though, I'd like to thank this video's sponsor, OshiCafe. If you know me in any capacity, then you've probably figured out I'm a coffee fiend. Ever since I became a content creator, I dreamed of being sponsored by a coffee company, so when I heard about this brand, I knew I had to jump on board. Right now, they're in the soft launch phase, with a hard launch later in the year. They're a VTuber-focused coffee brand with one blend on offer right now, but more to come in Season 1. So if you want to try the product out right now, you can do so by clicking my link in the description, or going to their website and using the code LEAFER90TTV at checkout. You'll get 10% off your order. As soon as this video's finished, I'm going to make myself a massive coffee. So if you want that caffeine gremlin off your back, click the link and use my code. Please note, at present, the brand only ships to the United States and to Canada. Now back to the rest of the video. I know this next section could probably do as its own video, but I feel it's worth discussing. Why should you support this Digimon game? Generally speaking, Digimon titles haven't done all that great outside of Japan, so by supporting the game, you're effectively telling Bandai Namco there is indeed a market for this product outside of its home region. Basically, it boils down to, if you want more Digimon games coming out in the West, then you pretty much need to support Time Stranger. Given the game is going to launch on PC and current generation hardware, the sales figures are likely going to be lower than if it had released on last generation hardware, like the PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. Also, just look at how Bandai treats franchises that underperform, like Soul Calibur. We definitely don't want that to happen to Digimon. I'm also worried with it likely coming out during the fall, it won't sell as well as it otherwise could, which might give Bandai the impression the series needs to go away again. But when do you think we'll get Digimon Story Time Stranger? Let me know in the comments, along with if you'll pick it up on day 1. Thanks go out to my current channel members whose names are on screen now. If you want exclusive content and other perks, then hit the join button or the link in the description. Otherwise, check out one of my other Digimon related videos, and until next time, keep blazing that trail.